Alright, welcome to episode 14 of History Rewritten. Last time we saw the Iranian country get absolutely jumped, so they're unhappy. More discovery of Japan, including colonization of the islands. The Indian countries are a lot bigger now. And also, top 3 power, the Sludge Nation, has come back, and they are now really strong. So that's something to be afraid of, I suppose. But today, we're going to do something that I wanted to have hinted at, but I've completely really not hinted at it. It was just that because of recent events, it's become quite a possibility, and it's all to do with the new trade routes in the Silk Road. Because, in the past, 300 years maybe, the Green Team discovered East Asia, and all the steppes and whatever. And they've gone over there, and now the trading resources and the Silk Road is a highly important trade route that is bringing lots of stuff to Europe and North Africa and Arabia and whatever. It's changed a lot of stuff in the world. Don't mind that voice crack. So, with all this, there's loads of people traversing it, and there's lots of people in these new East Asian countries who are finding lots of new things, and with that, they're finding new diseases. So, thank you to those guys, because somewhere in Asia, people are thinking it's the grey team, or this yellow one down here in this trade route. It's one of them. They both had cases of it occur at about the same time as people who were coming up from China and Korea caught it first, and then people going this way caught it, and quite quickly began to spread all across this trade route and into the green team, and this is not good. It's like the Black Death, but probably worse, because this is spreading along all the major trade route stuff. And quite quickly, it makes its way into the Green Team, and the Green Team's population is doing well at the start, then they got beaten up by the Red Team, and it went bad. And recently, it's really been picking up, like pretty much everything else in the Green Team. And now we're going to completely obliterate all their hopes and dreams, as this plague is going to decimate the population, the economy, the workforce, and it's really not going to be good for the Green Team. But you know who's adjacent to the Green Team? The Red Team. Yeah, the Red Team's been having a pretty good time. They've been dominant for a very long time. And this is really just gonna mess up the Red Team a bit. It's not going to destroy them. However, you have not seen breakaways like this. Actually, you have. Britain, yeah, starting off as a region in the east that tries to break away. Maybe not a great idea to try and break away during a plague. However, these people are really not being cared for. If there's a plague, and now the Red Team's gone, alright, just abandon those guys. Do not interact with them at any costs, because they will give you the plague. So we see this area claiming its independence, because it doesn't want anything to do with the Red Team anymore. And also, also if they're away from the Red Team, they can choose to close their borders and just go, let's not let anyone in. Which is kind of what the Lime Team's done, in hope of preserving their new growing economy. It's going very well. They're making lots of discoveries around the world. Anyway, the country we're talking about at the moment is the Red Team. Because this revolt thing, is going to amass more territory under its control as they spread up towards this lake and along the border of the Green Team. The Green Team has closed its borders once again, like they did when they got polarized. So this is not good. So this land has fallen under Red Team stuff. However, the plague is spreading even more into the Red Team. There are people in the central area by these major cities along the Euphrates who are not having a fun time. There's people in the desert who are receiving pretty much no aid because they're out in the desert and they're dying from it. You have to trade with the Orange Team. There are people in Anatolia where there's lots of trade because it goes to Europe over here, and another huge breakaway region is going to occur in this bit, and it is a massive breakaway region. We see this entire area break away from the Red Team. This is not good. Down here in the deserts I was talking about before, I see another large breakaway region, and this is a lot of the red team now that is trying to get its independence, so that the red team, well, they can care for themselves more, because the red team really isn't anymore, because they're terrified of plague. The blue team even suffers from collapse, as we see a region in the northern part of their country try and join up with this new rebellion that's occurring in the red team's Turkish region, which is very important to the red team, if you didn't realise. Turkey, and also to the blue team, seeing as that's where they live. Lots of the smaller countries are less affected by this, such as Crete. There's practically no reports of this on Crete, because by the time it reaches Crete, they've closed their borders, and they just going to have to try and be self-sufficient for a while, which will be tricky, because they're an island, and it's a very rocky island. However, they could probably manage it for a bit, but it's not going to be easy. The Greek countries are alright really, but now it's going to spread further into normal Europe? The rest of Europe, so to the Balkans, and it's making its way along the southern coast, across Italy, which it hits quite significantly. The people in the purple country are very angry. It's the same as the red team, but yeah. They even make their way into North Africa, and these North African countries are really scared. You know, they're quite fragile down here. They don't have lots of trade, and well, they do, but with everyone shutting their borders, they're not going to get much trade. Especially this dark blue one is going to start suffering rebellions and revolts and stuff. And although the plague doesn't really make it into this blue country down here in Ethiopia, Somalia place, it's going to affect them really harshly, as they can't trade with anyone because everyone shut their borders. And it's not good. They can't get any supplies. Lots of their country is a desert, so there's just loads of people dying out here. The orange team's going to suffer a lot because they're a huge desert. You see this random island down here that the red team had go up and revolt, and now there's a really huge area of the red team that is not liking the red team or being part of it at all. We see another region down here in Caucasia breakaway, and this bit is influenced by something else that's happening in the brown team, because they're pretty important for trade, and this huge region of the brown team is also claiming their independence. So yeah, it's not fun, if you didn't realize. By now the red team is pretty swamped up in these revolts, and they don't want it to get too out of hand and their country to collapse, so in the end they decide to just say fine, have your independence, stop it. So we're going to be getting these nations' independence when I find good enough colours for them. Sure. So we have a new Iranian one. This place already had a separatist revolt group. It's not been here very long, well, like 180 years or something, because that's when Iran just got attacked over here. There's not much left of these guys, so this country is here to try and be a bit like them. However, they don't want to unite with the old country because they're significantly different now, and these guys are going to put their capital down in this city. They also get this island, and they are pretty close to the starting area of the red team. You know, this city around here was the first red team city. Up here in the north, this one is going to be... I've never seen it. Oh. It says this is red. Sure, that looks alright. They're going to put their capital by the coast. And finally, over in Anatolia, well, not finally, there's another bit. There's more. This region makes a breakaway, and it's going to look like this, which is very vibrant. However, it is not stable. You know, they've just got into this world, and all this stuff is all about trade. So, therefore, their country is going to collapse because it can't do any trade. If you didn't realise, revolts are going to spill over a bit, and the red team is still suffering. However, this country is probably suffering more. So you see this bit, and this northern region, and now we've got more countries. This blue one's going to go right here, and well, we don't need any more blue countries in this area, to be honest. You didn't realise by the close proximity of a load of blue countries. This green one, and this ugly looking colour. So there's some new nations. The blue one will put their capital somewhere. They've actually got 3 major cities. That's crazy. The brown one's going to have the capital down here in the south, green team up in the north, and the blue country will have theirs by this city, because that's the biggest, because of the trade with Istanbul. And finally, in the south, we have got this other horrible desert region going for its independence. So I'm sure that that will be an extremely successful country. Right down here in Arabia. Also, if you have a really good memory, you will remember that this small island colony thing down by the Ethiopian country has broken away, and it is going to unite with a revolution, or revolt, I don't know why I keep saying revolution, within the light blue country. Because, yeah, this northern region is completely collapsing. Of course, you've got the Gulf of Aden around here, so this area is entirely built on trade. And Ethiopia, you've got like the proper plains and stuff, the agriculture, but up here there's none of that really. Might be a bit, but yeah, it's not good. This region's going to break away because they're in population now. So you see this. Let's do that colour. Sure. This bit take hold, and they are going to unite with this island up here from the red team, and of course put their capital in the Gulf of Aden city, Djibouti bit, northern Djibouti. And now Ethiopia is looking a lot more depressed. However, that's not it for Africa, as even the blue team down here, dark blue team, is going to be suffering. I need to mark down some of these colours. Sorry, this might take a little bit. Because these southern regions, just like all these other southern regions, are breaking away. They're suffering. There's a lot of suffering in this episode. Pretty dark. $47. Oh, I see. I see. I'm sorry. $60 pink for the eastern one. That's probably enough for now. I will come back to this. Dark, bright, blue. So I don't know how many. Well, I kind of do know. But there might be an awful lot more new independent countries today, and there will be. Reddish brown. Because yeah, so sorry about that. It's confident no. So you see another region breakaway in the Sudanese area of this dark blue country. This is not good. There's also the Nile stuff, and that is going to be very important in the future. However, it's gone. So this pretty huge region, comprising mostly desert, but well, even desert can be important, and that's like half their major cities gone. Will be going for its independence, and it achieves it because the blue team really can't withstand this pressure. They're going to put their capital up. Can you see that? You kind of can. No, you can't. Right, I'm 90. Over there. Let's just colour in the other major cities. So, Nile, the Nile, and the coast. Blue team's going to just completely withdraw and focus on their own country because it's not looking wonderful at the moment. And they need to remain looking wonderful. Yeah, alright. And the other North African blue country is going to suffer in an area of this country is already pretty poor, which is the eastern Libyan bit, because, as you can see, the major cities are mostly dotted around the Algerian section of the country, whilst the Libyan bit is very discarded. So yeah, a revolt breaks out here, and they don't do much to stop it because they're like, ah well, it's just Libya. Poor old Libya. But there you go, these guys have their own country. So, another purplish state. And their capital will be in their only major city, which is this one right here. And Spain's kind of fine, they managed to close the borders, they've got the Pyrenees, and anyone who tries to cross the Pyrenees, because it's quite defended, just gets shoved off. They see someone crossing and they just like, go away. Go away. However, the purple team, as I said before, isn't so lucky. These richer countries are the ones who are going to be suffering the most because they rely the most on trade. As you can see, red team is suffering. Blue team, which is number 4, they're suffering. Ethiopia and dark blue country, I don't know, they were just targeted for no reason. I'm sorry. But the purple team is going to be suffering a bit in the north because people from the Swiss country are also quite annoyed. And this affects the Italians as well. As we see, this area of Switzerland, so basically Austria, go up in revolution. And also this area of Italy, that was the trade sector of the Swiss country. And this bit here is like, probably fare better in the Swiss country than in the Italian one. So they unite with that. It's not a huge part. However, although the Italians look like they've held on to most of their territory, within the country, people, they're not doing anything. They're just completely revolting. Things are being destroyed, the city is just being burnt to the ground. People aren't working. It's not fun at all. So, I'm gonna put this new country over here. They look interesting, I suppose. And Switzerland looks a lot more Swiss. The French and Breton countries are fine. And I mean, Britain, this plague is carried by people trading. There's literally no one trading with Britain anyway. They're absolutely fine. Except from threats they receive from themselves, in which they're not fine. Because should we take a detour and just do the Britain update? I think so. Alright, today is the end for blue team. In Britain, the dark blue country will annex them into their country. However, it's not going to go wonderfully for the blue team after this, as Kent is going to declare war on them and take a lot of their eastern territories. So as you can see, boom, take this, they go up around here, and Kent is doing quite well because of this. So, Kentish advancement. The red team is going to join in, and they even managed to capture the blue team's capital. Before the pink team can move in and take the rest of it. So let's just sort out those borders quite quickly. The pink Welsh country is actually doing pretty well. Most of their countries are not even in Wales anymore. they do plan to annex more of other countries, which leads them to declare war on the red one. So, as the red country looks a bit like E.T. I don't know, it does kind of, bizarre, let me see. The pink country is going to descend from the north and attack them, because all their troops were boarded there, whilst the red teams were housed up in the blue team capital. So they managed to take this territory and add that to their country, but whilst they were distracted, they're going to be attacked from another angle, being the west, and the north, as the lilac and light green countries begin an attack on their stuff. So light green country takes lots of the Welsh stuff, and they're also pushed on the north by the lilac one. So the lilac country has grown pretty huge in recent times, and this pink country has lost most of their Welsh stuff now. They're more like Mercia instead of Wales. But, I don't know. They're fine, probably. Speaking of lime-coloured countries, like the Welsh one, East Anglia is going to end up going to war with Kent, whose borders currently look horrific, which is kind of the aim for the British borders, We'll really just like, let's take what we can get. So Kent leads an advancement into the East Anglian territory, which goes pretty well. They get quite close to taking the capital in Norwich, I suppose. But the red team makes an advancement and pushes into lots of this stuff and gets pretty close to taking down Kent. The green team is also going to join in and annex this northern part. They look like a bean. Oh god. I don't want to be Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean's great though. It's quite funny, in my opinion. So East Anglia is going to annex back their stuff, whilst Kent ends up losing lots of their territory to the red team, and also to East Anglia, as I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Just completely lost. Right, red country. Let's do them. Yeah, who do you think's going to unite Britain? I don't know if I already asked this question, but who do you think is actually going to unite Britain? There's a lot of people who can do it. Place your bets. Bet, Fred, advertisement. Don't be gambling aware. Not don't be gambling aware, be gambling aware. Gambling can be very destructive. And you do not need me to tell you that. Thank you. And in the end, the Kent country is removed by its bordering states, and the capital is taken by the lime country, but by Kent. So that there, and the red team is going to annex the Kent peninsula, I suppose you could say. So it's a very Wessex looking red team. However, it's not all going well, because the pink team just destroyed a load of their army, and they didn't get, actually no, they didn't get, these guys took that, it's a shame. I don't know, pretty strange. We see the grey country get attacked by the green and this dark greenish one, and this leads to them being partitioned. They cut across there. The dark green country has reassumed lots of their old, this one has reassumed lots of their old territory, and the Galloway one is now just becoming extremely powerful. They have a lot of stuff. Which colour was it? I think I'm remembering this today. Also, sorry, I need to drink some water. I've been outside, breathing fresh air today, and talking, so my throat feels dead. Anyway, yeah, long looking Galloway. Also the Isle of Man, which is just, I don't know, cool, I suppose. And that's the Britain update for today. Yeah, let's do that. Anyway, carrying on with the extremely destructive plague, it hasn't made it very far north, because trade in the north isn't that developed, and neither are many of the countries. The terracotta nation will suffer. There's other regions who see some pain, like Belgium and France, and whatever, but they're generally fine. They managed to bore themselves off. They've been pretty self-sufficient after the sludge nation appeared, and people moved out of their sphere of influence. So we're just gonna update the Nordic countries, I suppose. I like doing this. Makes me happy. I like Norway a lot. So the Norwegians are going to expand into all this stuff. They mapped out over the past few years. And finally they're going to assume this territory and add to their pretty large country. Although it's not good land. Not good land at all. So it's not bringing them any points. However, if they manage to retain that territory until the modern day, oil. Everyone loves oil. And the blue country will be expanding along this bit and up this coast a bit. However, they are quite invested in Finnish, doing quite well, and I like the Finns quite a lot at the moment. I'm afraid that I've forgotten about one of the colours, but it'll probably be fine. I really like this country anyway. Oh no. Beige to 30. That's what I've got. I don't care about keyboard. No, I do. I like my keyboard. And what? Beige 230, or else I'll never remember what colour that random Arabian country is. Although it will just turn into sand in the next few years, so well. Enjoy it whilst it still has a few buildings. Anyway, Sweden has been slowly progressing into the inner regions of Scandinavia and modern day Sweden. So they are quite a large country, and their land is definitely better than the Norwegian stuff. Yeah. Happy Sweden. Well, Norway is going to try and take some of that land before the Swedes can snatch up all of it, because otherwise that won't be good for the Norwegians. And they make their way around to this bit over here. There's a lot of Scottish nations who do a lot of trading with Norway, and since the plague hasn't really arrived in this area, they're fine to continue their trade. There's like 1 or 2 accounts of the plague, and they don't really know how bad it is, because they don't really talk to anyone who's really suffering from it, like the purple team. So they're like, meh. It'll be fine. Just put them on an island for a bit. Finnish country is going to expand further eastwards of their general bit. So they go up and around here. There's a lot of expansion for Finland. However, just like the other Scandinavian countries, trade is not so huge up here in the East Baltic. So they're really fine, to be honest. The sludge nations closed off lots of southern trading. However, in the north, the plague, it's not there. So they're okay. As for... what colour is this one? Who are you? Oh. Green to 40. Oh, damn. We've also got... what is this? Second yellow. 290. I'm sorry if that makes no sense, just skip 10 seconds ahead. Anyway. We see this orange Ingrian country expand further towards that lake. Whatever that one is. Quite a bright orange, but I like them. And the Druidic country, they don't know the plague even's going on. I have no clue what's going on in the rest of the world now. Like, fully isolationist. This light blue one will do a bit of expansion, but not that much. And yeah, Crimea, like all the other great powers, I suppose. It's not only a great power, but top 5. Is going to be suffering a bit from the plague. However, none of its regions break away, and they manage to deal with it okay. You know a country who we talked about not dealing with it okay at the start, and didn't deal with it okay? It's the Green Team. So yeah, finally, lots of the regions within the Green Team decide to break away. So not good for the Green Team. What colour was this purple? Purple 55. What's this? Lilac 40. And yeah, that stuff. So we've got a lot of customized colours now. Green Team, suffering, great. So I see another sort of like steppe region over here, breakaway, under the influence of the steppes people. So there's this huge chunk. We've got a pretty northern area that wants its independence over here. There is a southern Iranian influence bit all the way down here, and another just random bit over there. You know, they're not having a great time around there. And the Green Team really isn't having a great time. So, in the north, the Green Team's going to give independence to all these states. In the north we have this dark greenish thing. They're going to put their capital over here. By this one, we're going to have this new country. They're going to put their capital. Imagine the trade route. Put it on this city. This one right in the middle down here. They have no major cities. They're basically like a Lime Team puppet, which is why their flag. If you imagine the colour of the country is like the main colour on their flag, that's kind of what I imagine. Their flag is very similar to the Lime Team's flag, because they are a Lime Team puppet. So their capital will be right in the middle of their country. Actually, no, actually never mind. It's right in the south, near the Lime Team. And finally, we see a purplish looking thing in the south. This is painful to look at. Breaking away. And all that's left of the Green Team is this poor, starved looking wreck of a once extremely powerful country. And that's really sad. Today has been an extremely destructive video. We have torn apart lots of the world, and it's not been happy for many people. I'm going to end it off soon, but this is a sad video. Red Team is still number 1, but it's not going great. Purple Team's number 2, closely followed by Sludge Nation. Number 4 is the Lime Team. Number 5 is Crimea. Number 6, I forgot the blue one, in Africa. Oh, red, purple, Sludge, very closely behind the purple now. Lime, then blue in number 5. 6 is Crimea, 7 is the orange one, 8 is going to go to... It's gotta go to someone. That is true. We'll say the Caucasian country. Number 9, say France. Number 10, terracotta. I don't know. Something a bit like that. Probably for the top 10. Or maybe the brown one. The brown one's pretty strong now. But yeah, just finishing off, more Japanese colonialism. It's been pretty slow over this episode's duration. because of the fact that the people over here in East Asia are dying of the plague. And dying of the plague is not a great way to explore Japan, or condition to be exploring Japan in. So, yeah, gotta think about that, don't you? The Koreans, however, are not going to stop exploring Japan, and they're going to go along all this northern bit, whilst the whatever it's called, Amir dudes are going to expand along the western part of the North Island. I don't know what it's called still, so it has been pretty slow. Although, one major development in terms of Japan is that they've mapped out the entire western coast of Japan. So, it should be pretty easy to explore and colonize that area. It's like one positive. But today's been a depressing video. Really depressing video. I've got something positive to start the next one off with, so I think we're going to need something positive. Is this the right guy? Because I'm pretty sad at the moment. I thought this video was going to be fun. I didn't realise how much I'd tear apart the green team. It's made me very sad. Anyway. Womp green team, I suppose. They'll come back, probably. You know, I quite like them. They've got more on their mind. Yeah, there is the world at the current point. I have done a major city update for ages, so I'm really quick. I keep saying, oh, don't worry, I'll be ending the video in a second. There is one final thing, followed by one more final thing. I sound like my sister. No. Just one more thing. One more thing. Oh, God. So she loses rock, paper, scissors. One more try. I'm sorry, Sophie. It's fine. Yeah. I might update it off camera. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're not crying. I'm crying. I'm not. Yeah, it was definitely an eventful video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Have a nice rest of your day, and subscribe.